All right, Katy Perry performing Firework last night at the DNC in Philadelphia. Perry was the fourth most talked about speaker of the night on Twitter. The most talked about speaker was Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. With this attack on Trump, the most talked about moment. Listen to this.
Imagine, if you dare, imagine him in the Oval Office facing a real crisis. A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons.
All right, so let's get a look at social media and what everybody was talking about and bring in Cheddar CEO John Steinberg. John, good to see you.
Good to be here.
So what do you think? Tell us what you saw in terms of social media last night.
You know, nothing really kind of went crazy other than her playing with the balloons and going, oh, my God, fireworks, right? Because the speeches were all very flat. She also punched sideways or basically punched down at Donald Trump, which is really nothing you want to do. You always want to punch up, right? So giving him more spotlight and more attention struck me as a relatively silly thing to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. She looked good, but it's not resonating with a lot of people.
Well, there was no novelty in anything that she said. You know, basically, nothing really stands out from that. You can't give a speech which is so basic and so blasé. The same thing with Chelsea Clinton's speech as well, too. My mom is great. She was always there for me. I wouldn't give that speech at my mom's 60th birthday. It's just not that interesting. Now compare that to the Bloomberg speech, right, where he said basically, I don't like her that much, but at least she's sane and competent. Which was so Bloomberg, so unique, so novel. That's marketing.
Authentic.
I mean, yeah, very authentic.
People want authenticity.
A lot of these lines, like the one line about Wall Street and Main Street, I believe Wall Street can never, ever be allowed to wreck Main Street again. She tweeted that in February. Like, these are the exact lines that she's been using over and over again, including the deal me in.
They're tested. I mean, you know, they're tested, and to your point, you know, when you talked about she was punching down, look, this is an election of contrast. All elections are. But when you have two very unpopular candidates, it's going to be a race to the bottom, right? You're going to have to hold your nose and vote for the one you
But I also agree.
despise
I think
less.
John's point and David's point is a really good one, which is that it was the same old, same old, same old. And the most fundamental problem with Hillary Clinton's candidacy is she is the status quo. People want change. They want to do something different. She went up there and she reminded people why they want change.
And where's the effort in the speech writing? I mean, you know, think what you will about Bill Clinton, but he gave he's a great speaker. He writes great speeches. There's nothing interesting that she says, and mailing it in this kind of election to me is just crazy. No great stories, no catchy lines. He's got his finger on the nuclear codes. I mean, come on. No one thinks that Donald Trump's going to walk into the office and launch nuclear weapons.
Isn't it ironic that Bill Clinton tried to paint her as this change maker, and then there wasn't anything new in terms of change in the speech? And then let me get your take on Facebook, because last night Facebook told us this line from Hillary was their top social moment of the night. Listen to this.
If fighting for affordable child care and paid family leave is playing the woman card, then deal me in.
I suppose we shouldn't discount the possibility, and it's interesting that was the most, whatever it was, shared on Facebook or whatever, the possibility that we've all seen her give this speech 1,000 times, but there are, I don't know, probably 25, 30 million people tuning in last night. Many of them, literally the first time they'll have seen a Hillary Clinton stump speech, and that's what they got. And so, to some extent, you know, that's what the
filter
speechwriters are thinking.
It's really the filter bubble is what it is. People who like Hillary Clinton follow Hillary Clinton. They follow news sources that are going to repeat and send out this line, and they're going to reshare it on Facebook. They're going to retweet it on Twitter. So it really isn't indicative of anything I mean, whatever line she said would have been the line that surged, basically.
But to your larger point, you know, any successful campaign, you got to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat to the point where the rest of us who follow it want to throw up, but everybody else, you know, finally gets the message. And that's why she's doing what she's doing. And again, you saw that with Obama with Hope and Change. You saw that consistently with every winning campaign has something like that.
I think that has changed in the past few years, to be honest with you. I think that used to be the old thinking, was that you had to repeat and repeat because there were so few media outlets. Now, the line will make it around. I think you can take for granted if you give a clever line like a deal me in line, that's going to be there and repeated in an echo chamber forever. You need constant new content.
Especially if you're painting yourself as the change maker.
Yeah.
Well, how about President Obama? He stole the show on Twitter last night with this tweet saying, great speech, she's tested, she's ready, she's never quits. That's why Hillary should be our next President of the United States.
That should have been in her speech, that cadence. Like Joe Biden's speech, the vice president's speech was patriotic, and it just harnessed the way Americans feel about this country and the pride, the perseverance, and the the fight.
Yeah.
And she didn't get. I thought she would use some of that.
But Joe Biden is beloved, and he's beloved by Democrats and more and more by other people because of the personal tragedy that he's gone through. I mean, nobody wishes Joe Biden ill. Joe Biden completely silenced the room because of what happened. And he doesn't have that kind of capital. No other politician, I would argue to you, has that kind of capital because of what he's gone through.
I thought the Obama tweet was cheesy and lame. I mean, to be honest with you, she's going to get the Twitter account. The only good tweet that the Democratic Party has had in this election has been when Hillary Clinton tweeted out to Donald Trump, delete your account.
Yeah.
Because whether or not she wrote it or not, that was kind of cool. That was kind of clever.
And
it was
people
edgy.
thought about that.
You had to think about what it
resonated.
Right.
Because
it's
they were
neat.
thinking.
It's cool.
How about the balloon moment, John?
Oh,
Okay,
love
the
it.
Democratic nominee and her husband playing with the balloons. They were a highlight across all social media platforms. What do you think about that?
I think that all the candidates of both parties seem really into balloons and fireworks. Remember the Giuliani thing, when the balloons didn't fall at the RNC, he was going, there was that vine of him going, where are the balloons? Where are the balloons? So it seems like these very sophisticated, smart people are like super into fireworks and balloons.
You know what? Every candidate I've ever worked with, for whatever reason, loves to see their own name on signs. They're all obsessed with signs. Like, I don't know what the deal is with swag, but candidates love balloons. They love signs. It's like, it's this weird...
I mean, they're showing it now. I mean, that look on her face when the fireworks went off. I mean, she was genuinely super excited. It was the only real emotion I think we saw the whole night was Hillary Clinton loves fireworks.
Also, Bill Clinton had this very weird expression with the balloons coming down, like he was a little out of it.